As I have told you previous week that the beginning of the MATLAB, that there were few researchers who want to solve the matrix, because I think most of you have already done some kind of a elementary matrix in during your schools. That there are rules that rows and column, how you need to multiply. This first row will go in the second column, second row will go third. All the rules are there. So there were few researchers who want to develop a software that can solve the matrix. So they came out with this software, and then they have given to other scientists. So other scientists also like it. And then later on, the same software they keep on developing, and now it becomes the very big software, and it can solve most of the things. So today we are going to learn. This one is your miss after introduction. This one is also your first chapter that will teach you how to you can manipulate the matrices. Another part is, suppose in your quiz and in your test, the manipulation of matrix will come. So suppose we will give you some kind of a matrix, and then we'll give you the exercise that, okay, you need to extract row, column, or particular numbers. So mainly try to see that how you need to do the coding. Okay, so in this chapter, we will learn how to manipulate the matrix, means extracting rows, column, or extract particular data. Then to solve two variables problems plus. So now what you need to do is, the way I have opened the MATLAB window, you also need to double click the MATLAB software, and you will get this window of MATLAB. On one side will be the workspace, and another side will be the command window. Okay. Now, if you want to write down any matrix in okay, first thing is, most of the exercise on matrix, we can do it in the command window. So at present, we will try to do more and more exercise in the command window. So if you want to write down any matrix in MATLAB, what you need to do is, suppose you can just write down A equals, you need to use a square bracket. So square bracket, then I want to put the number 1, space 2, space 3, space 4, semicolon, then 5, 6, 7, 8. And once your row is complete, then again semicolon, then I can put 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 4 numbers in one row, and then there are 3 rows. So, and then once you have completed the matrix, then you close the square bracket, enter. Okay, so very simple. Whatever matrix you want to write down in MATLAB, you start with the square bracket, and then you write down the numbers. You need to give the space. So 1 number, then a space, 2, space, 3, then 4. Then once your row is completed, put the semicolon. Then 5, 6, 7, 8, semicolon. Once your matrix is complete, then you can enter. So the matrix will come in this form. Same way, we want to write down another matrix, B equals to, okay, we can choose 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Okay, so this one, you can type these numbers or you can type any other number also, and then you enter. So you got another matrix B. So 11, 12, 13, 14. Once your row is completed, then you put the semicolon, then another row, then semicolon. Okay, if you want to now multiply two matrix, so you can say C equals to A multiplied by B. So, but it is saying the error. What you need to do is what? Okay. So have you tried until here in your MATLAB and got the answer? Then another question will come that we want to suppose simply want to multiply A multiply by B. But when we have done without dot, then it is showing inner matrix dimensions must agree. Means both the matrix is creating some problem. Okay, what happened in matrix by default? Matrix will consider all the number as a vector. So you may have studied earlier scalar and vector. A scalar means you can get only the magnitude, and vector means when you have something with the magnitude and direction, like velocity. Velocity means displacement in we need to tell okay in which direction. So displacement and the direction. Speed means only the value. So MATLAB by default consider all the number as a vector. This means when we want to multiply two numbers, you need to have the magnitude plus you also need to know the direction. But for our case or for most of our calculations, we just want to multiply two numbers only. We don't care what is the direction, whether perpendicular or whatever direction. We just want to multiply two numbers only. So if you want to convert the multiplication numbers into the scalar, we need to put dot. So A dot star is for multiplication, and then B, then you can get the answer. So later on also you will see when you have a number, several numbers you multiply with other, and it is showing inner matrix or some dimension not meeting. You just put dot star sign or dot divide. Then you will see that the numbers are multiplying. Okay. So till here you have done, and you got the answer. C equals to, you can multiply. I think you can see the divide also, maybe divide or not. Okay. It is also dividing. So the thing is, if you want to do the simple multiplication, division of the matrix, then you can do it. And the way the thing means you need to write down matrix is simple. Square bracket, then one number space 2 space 3 space 4, and then once row complete this one. Okay. All right. So now we will go again back to the slides. So when you have multiplied A into B, you got the answer or not? You can write down in the chat box that you can multiply the matrix and there's no issue. Okay, now there are 31 students. So I think everyone need to write down that, okay, you got the answer. Yes, so I think one person say yes. Yes, can, yes. Shamil have written yes, got the answer. Other student, there are 31 students, so at least all the people can say, okay, it is simple thing. You write down matrix 1, matrix 2, then multiply, and then you get it. We want to go step by step. So what I want is everyone should get the answer. If you are not getting answer, can also inform me. Then we can check that, okay. All right, but still not that many. Yes, I have seen. Is there any student who don't have the MATLAB software in their computer or any other issue they have? Okay, so I think it is simple one. So hopefully everyone can get the answer. So we will move to the slides. All right. Now whatever exercise I'm showing you on the screen, all these things you need to try in the command window. So can you see the screen that is written as you can define a matrix using other matrices as components? Can see or not?
Can, sir.
Okay. All right, good. Now, what you need to do is you write down, this one is a simple exercise in which we got one matrix B equals to 1.5, 3.1. We want to introduce this matrix into another matrix S. So we have written S equals to 3, comma B. So this B will come inside S, and then you can see the number 3, 1.5, and 3.1. Okay. So this thing you can try in the command window, and you will get the answer. Just it will take only less than 1 minute. You write down B equals to 1.5, comma 3.1, then semicolon S equals to 3.0. Okay. So I think so. This one is simple example in which you are introducing one matrix into the other one. Now we move to the next one. So in the next one, we created one matrix T equals to 1, comma 2, comma 3. Okay, another important thing, whenever you are writing the matrix, you can keep either the space 1, space 2, space 3. Or if you want to put the comma also, you can put the comma 1, comma 2, comma 3. So whether you give the space or you put the comma is the same thing. It is upon your choice. Suppose normally I don't put any comma. I just put the space. 1 t equals to 1 space 2 space 3 semicolon. Then we want to introduce this s into this matrix. So you can see that first row we have given 1, 2, 3. Another row which is s we have introduced. So 3, 1.5 and 3.1. Okay. So all these four things B, S, T, this one you can write down directly in the command window. Okay, now I think until here is very clear, very simple, and all the student may have done it. Okay, yes or no? Got the answer until here?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
doctor.
Okay. All right, then we move to the next step. Okay, now suppose we have the matrix S equals to 3, 1.5, 3. Now we want to change any particular number in this matrix. We want to put some new number. Suppose the number is given 1.5, and we want to change this number with something else. So what we do is, the main thing what you need to remember is how to write that code. So suppose we have written in front of the this double arrow is called prompt. So S, then we have written second position as bracket 2. Bracket 2 means at which position? So we say second position. We want new number 1. So you can see on the top S is 3, 1.5, 3.1. But when we change to the second position, then we got the new number S at second position is 1. So then we can change. Okay. So simple thing. Suppose we have given you in your quiz or test some matrix. I have given you that, okay, these are the numbers. I want you to change the number at the second position and at the fourth position with new numbers. Then how you need to write down the code. So in this case, if we want to replace the second position number, we just need to, in the bracket, you need to write down S bracket, what position you need to give to the MATLAB second with 1. Okay, same way we have tried few more things. We want to change the at the fourth position with 5.5. So we have written S bracket 4, then 5.5. So simple thing. You need to give the name of the matrix. Name of the matrix is S. Position 4th. Number 5.5. So it can change. So it will change the fourth position number. All right. Okay, there's one more thing. We can introduce even number. Suppose in this example, we want at the 8th position 9.5, but we never given MATLAB any numbers between 5, 6, 7. Suppose there was one matrix S4, there were four numbers only, 3, 1, 3.1, and 5.5. Now you have given the instruction to the MATLAB that at the 8th position, you want number 9.5. But in this one, you have given the number to the MATLAB that, okay, at the 8th position, you want 9.5, but you never tell MATLAB what it need to put at 5, 6, 7 position. So if you have not declared to the MATLAB, then MATLAB by default will put 0. Okay. There are some default setting also in the graph and plotting also you will see. If you don't define, if you don't give instruction to the MATLAB, MATLAB will choose the color. MATLAB have its own default setting that, okay, length, width, scale or whatever. But if you want to change, you can give that, okay, you want particular color and all these things. Same way here, that on the 8th position, you have given number 9.5, but you never told MATLAB that, okay, what you want at 5, 6, 7. So by default, MATLAB will put 5, 6, 7 as 0 and at the 8th position, 9.5. Okay. All right. So until here, have you tried in the command window and you got all the answers? So just you write down in the chat box, you have done it, all the changing the position in the matrix and you got all the answers. So you just say yes. So that I will understand, okay, until here is clear. Then we will go to the next topic. Okay. So simple matrix as you want to change the position to the second position, fourth position, and eighth position. Then you will get the same kind of answer. If you got all three answer, you just write down in the chat box yes. So it's become clear to me that you understood. Okay. All right, so let us see that how many people have written yes. So what we have done is we have covered what is introduction to the MATLAB, introduction to the matrix, then how you can write down the matrix in the command window, how you can change the position in the this one matrix. Now the another topic is a colon operator. Colon operator, so I need to go back again to the MATLAB window. All right. Now another important command in the matrix is called colon operator. Now, what is colon operator? Okay. Suppose we need to write down the numbers. We want to write down, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 10 or 1 until 100. So we are not going to sit in computer and then write down, okay, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. So if we have to type 100, it will take a lot of time. So the colon operator is to generate numbers. So suppose we got some variable a equals 1 is to 10. So you have written 1 is to 10, then you click enter. So within seconds, you will see that MATLAB have generated the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 10. Okay. So suppose we can say we clean the window, so we can say CLC. And if you want to clear the workspace, then clear. Now, if I want to write down the numbers a equals to 1 is to suppose 1000. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So just you click enter, and within second, you will see that MATLAB have generated the numbers until 1000. Actually, this is very good feature of the MATLAB, because later on when we want to do any coding, anything, and we want to write down a lot of numbers, so you don't need to type anything. You can just give the first number, last number, and MATLAB will create the numbers. So like if you want to draw the graph X and Y, so you create X equals to 1 is to this one, Y, then plot X comma Y, it will plot. Okay. So this one is called colon operator. We say CLC clear. Again, suppose we say A equals to 1 is to, now I want to give 100,000 or maybe million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. You want some numbers from 1 is to 1 million. Then you enter. So you can see that MATLAB will generate the numbers until 1 million. But don't give numbers like this one. Now the problem is if I want to use my computer and I have given suppose 1 million or 1 billion, I cannot use the computer because it is doing the calculations. Okay, you can see that it has done the. So if you got suppose stuck like this one, suppose we say CLC clear A equals to 1 is to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Suppose I want to generate the numbers from 1 to a lot of zeros. So you can see that it will keep on calculating. But if I want to stop, I don't want to wait and I want to stop. So what you do is you try to bring the cursor and then click Control C. Okay. If you have given not only this number, but you have given any calculations and it is not stopping. So you bring your mouse on the main window, then you click Control C. Okay, remember this one. If you don't write Control C, suppose by mistake I have given 10 billion or something, then computer will keep on calculating. You cannot shut down, you cannot do anything. It will just, the only thing left for you is shut down the computer. Then it will stop. Otherwise, there's no way you can stop the MATLAB. So in that case, if you have given some numbers and you want it to stop, then you bring your cursor on the main window and then click Control C. You need to remember all these things. Control C, then it will stop the calculations. Okay. CLC clear. All right. This one is called colon operator. Colon operator, you can declare the first number, last number, and by default, MATLAB will do the calculation, means it will 1, 2, 3, 4. But suppose what happens, suppose I want the increment of 5. So I have given number, first number 0. So I want with the increment of 5. I want 5, 10, 15, 20 like this. I don't want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with 1. I want with an increment of 50. So I have written 0, 5, or suppose we say 50. First number is 0. Last number is 50. Increment 5. So then you click, then you can see that MATLAB have generated 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50. So this is called, suppose by default, if you don't define how much increment you want, then MATLAB will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you want a particular increment, 5, 10, 15, then you can do it. So for that, you need to give the first number, increment, last number. Same way we can try a few more. A is equal to 0, to 10, to 100. So this time I want the increment of 10. So you can see that 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 can come in the command window. Okay. So by default, 1, 2, 3, 4. By increment, you can define the increment and then you can get it. We can also have the increment of in the decimal. So suppose A equals to 0 is to 0.5 is to 10. So now this time I want the increment of with the 0.5. So then you click, then you can see that 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2. So you can have the increment in the regular numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can have a decimal number also can be done. Okay. All right. So colon operator clear. What is colon operator and what is the application? Okay. All right. Somebody can say yes. Understood. Understood or not? Nobody is saying.
Understood, doctor.
Okay. All right. Good. So this one is colon operator. So now we will go again back to the slide. Okay. If there is anything you can write down on the chat box that okay, if you don't understand, then we can again repeat. Understood. So okay, Najwa have written understood. Sabrina have written understood. Okay. Nobody have written not understood. Then it's okay. Good. All right. Because another part is suppose in programming, suppose you have done introduction, this one, whatever you have learned will go to the next one. It is a accumulative learning. So when we go to the next chapter, then the things here need to be clear, then you can move to the next one. If you don't understand how you need to use colon operator and other thing, the next chapter, suppose we are going to do the plotting, 2D plot, 3D plot. In that, you need to generate the numbers using the colon operator or any graph. We need the numbers, so you need to use. So this thing need to be clear to move to the next one. Okay, so now we will go again back to the slides. So in this one, colon operator, as you have already seen, used to define new matrices, modify existing matrices. So this one is the same example that we have done. You will need to define first number 1, last number 8. Then by default, MATLAB will do 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same way, if we want the spacing, if we want the particular increment, then we can write down that okay 0.5. So the numbers will be generated 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, and 2. So we can define that we want the whole number or the decimal number. Okay. Now in this third portion, we will see the manipulation. Manipulation means to extract some rows and column from the matrix. So now what you need to do is you have already opened this one MATLAB. In the command window, you write down m equals to 1 space 2 3 4 5, then semicolon, then 2 3 4 5 6, then semicolon, and then the last line. So you write down a straight line m equals to 1 2 3 4 5, then semicolon, then 2 3 4 5 6 semicolon. This one will generate the matrix m. Now from the matrix, when you see here x equals to m colon comma 1, the first number is for the row, another one is the column. So in the first example x, we want to extract the first column 1 2 3. So then if we want to bring out the first column, you need to write down colon comma 1. If you write down colon comma 1, it will extract the first column. If you want to extract the fourth column, then you write down comma 4. It will extract the fourth column. Okay. So try this thing. Write down the matrix. Then you extract first column, fourth column, and then the first row. So try to do this exercise in your command window. Once you got all three, just write down that done in the command window. Simple exercise to extract the different column and different row. Now, another exercise is suppose you want to extract particular numbers. Suppose we want to extract the rows second and third. This is an example where we want to extract the rows second and third. So what we need to write down is in the place of row, you write down 2 colon 3. So when you write down the 2 colon 3, then MATLAB will understand that you want to extract the second and third row. So from the above matrix, MATLAB can extract the second and third row. So you can see from when you have given 2 is to 3, then MATLAB understand the row 2 and 3. Okay. Now, if we want only very few numbers from the matrix, you were given a very big matrix, and from the matrix, we want to extract some particular number. Okay. Suppose we want to extract the numbers from this matrix 5, 6, 6, 7, this one. So then to the MATLAB, you need to give that you want from the rows 2 is to 3 and then column 4 is to 5. So rows 2 is to 3, column 4 is to 5. So then MATLAB will understand these 4 number because we have given the we have defined it that row second and third, column 4 is to 5. So these 4 numbers we want to extract. So same way, suppose we will give you some question that with some big matrix, then we ask, okay, these are the 4, 5 numbers from the big matrix. You need to write the code to bring it out. Then you need to write a similar kind of code that, okay, how you need to define this one. So these 4 numbers will fall between 2 is to 3 row, column 4 is to 5. Then you can get the answer. Okay. Now, if you want to write down, okay, I think hopefully you have done this part. Now, if you want to write down all the numbers in single column, then you just write down M bracket colon. If you write down M bracket colon, then all the numbers will come into the straight line. Okay. So now I want to give you a little bit of exercise and you all need to do it. So let's go to the MATLAB window. So now suppose I will give you some matrix A equals to bracket suppose 1. So you write down the same matrix as I'm writing, then I will ask you to do something. Okay. Okay. So you write down this matrix. Number any number, or maybe because you need to do the exercise, so choose the same numbers that I have written 1 2 3 7 9. So these are 5 numbers in one row, then 10 11 14. So need to check that 5 numbers only 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4. So I need to put one more 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, then you click enter. So you will get one matrix. Okay. So now from this matrix, you need to write down the code in your command window. Okay. The first part of the exercise is extract second column. All right. Then second part is extract fourth column. Third part is extract first row. Fourth part is extract third row. Then the fifth part is you need to extract these 4 numbers 11, 14, and 17, 19. So because here we cannot do in the command window. So this one is 11, below is 17, 14, below is 19. So these 11, 17, 14, 19. So you need to extract these 4 numbers from the matrix. Okay. So once you have done, you can write down in the chat box you have done. You got 5 small exercises to do in this matrix. First part, extract second column. Second part, extract fourth column. Third part, extract first row. Fourth part, extract third row. And then the fifth part is this 4 number 11, 14, and below 11 is 17, below 14 is 19. and you need to extract these four numbers from this matrix. All right. So little exercise. It will not take more than 5 minutes. So try to do it, and then in your chat box you write down that you got all the four answers. Once you got all these four answers, just write down that yes, you have done it. Okay. All right. So little bit exercise. I think until four part will be easier. This one you need to define that the fifth part, which row and which column you need to tell MATLAB. So these 11, 17, 14, 19 number will come out. Okay, done. Now, we want to see some other commands that are used in MATLAB. So the AND is, there is one word called AND. Suppose you got the matrix M, 1, 2, 3, all the numbers are there. And we want to know what is the number at the end of the first row. So we can write down just M1, comma END. So when you write down 1, comma END, it will tell in the first row what is the last number. So we can say 5. If we want to know that what is the last number of this matrix, suppose the last number in this matrix is 7. So we can write down, if suppose and is end of the row, end of the column, then it will give 7. Or if you can write down simple and also, it will give 7. Okay, these are just few more things in the matrices that if we want to know, suppose you got very big matrix and then you want to know what is the number at the end. So you can just write down 1, comma end. If you want to write down what is the number at the end of this matrix, then you can say and, comma end or something. Okay, so it is just the application of the AND word. Now, so we have covered the sum of the parts. Now the new part is how we can multiply two matrices with different numbers. So now in this section, we will go through the two matrices with different numbers. Okay. All right. Now, suppose if you want to, whatever you are seeing on the screen, try to keep on in the parallel, you try to do in the command window. So you will get confident, okay, that you can solve it. Suppose you got the number x is equal to 3, y is equal to 5, and then you need to just multiply x and y. So for multiplication, you just need to write down the star sign. So if you write down the star sign, then MATLAB knows you want to multiply x multiply y, you got number 15. If you want to multiply, you got one row 1:5, and then you got y is equal to 5. You want to multiply these two, you can easily do it. That x is equal to 1:5, y is equal to 5, then you multiply 5, 10, 15, 20. Simple one. So you declare variable x, you declare variable y, you multiply these two numbers, and it will be easy. Okay, now is a slightly more complex thing. Suppose you got two numbers, x is equal to 1:5. Another you got y is 1:3. When you will try to multiply x into y, you will see that there is error. You cannot multiply these two matrices because x is having 5 numbers, y is having 3 numbers. So these are not equal matrices. So suppose you can see on the screen that x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, y is 1, 2, 3. There's nothing to multiply at the fourth position. There's nothing to multiply at the fifth position. So because both the matrices are not of equal size, it is saying inner matrix dimension must agree. So when we try to multiply unequal matrix, you cannot multiply. So how we need to do if we have two matrices with unequal length. To do that one, we need to use the special command in MATLAB. It is called line space. Okay, so line space. Now I need to explain to you what is line space. Okay, line space is the same like the colon operator. You have seen the colon operator previously. In colon operator, we declare the first number, but then we declare the last number, and then we say, if we say 1 is to 10, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 10. Okay. If we want some increment, then we say 0 is to 5 is to 50. Then it will have the increment of 5, 10, 15, something like this one. So more or less line space is same like the colon operator, but the difference is in line space you have declared the first number 1, last number is 3. Then you tell the MATLAB how much segment you want, how much division you want. So we say we want 5 numbers. So in this one, we don't give them the increment. We just tell them the first number is 1, the last number is 3, and we want 5 pieces or 5 numbers. Then MATLAB by its own will decide how much increment it need to do between the numbers to make it that 5 number. So in this case, suppose we have declared the first number 1, the last number 3 and 5. So then MATLAB have decided the increment of 0.5. So you can say 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Okay. So you need to understand the difference. In colon operator, we give the first number, how much increment you want, 5, 10, 15, and the last number. Same thing is also done by the line space, but in the line space, you need to declare the first number, which is 1. The last number is 3, and then you tell the MATLAB how much space you want, how many numbers you want. So we say 5 numbers you want. So the first number is 1, the last number is 3, and total numbers you want is 5. So MATLAB by its own setting will decide how much increment it need to do. So it has done like 1, 1.5, 2. So it has decided by its own that with the increment of 0.5, you can get 5 numbers. So now X is 5 numbers, Y is also 5 numbers, and now you can multiply both X and Y. Okay, because we just want the scalar multiplication, you put the dot, X dot multiply, star sign is multiply Y, so you can get, okay. So basically line space same like colon operator, but we tell them that how many numbers we want from that one. Okay, so hopefully clear. Okay, now I think line space you try in your command window and you see you can get the answer. Then we will go to the another part. Okay, you just need to write down X is equal to 1 is to 5, Y equals to line space 1, 3, 5, and then if we want to multiply X dot star sign Y, so you can multiply. Okay. Later on we will see the different application of the colon operator line space where we do the more programming part. Another important thing you need to remember is suppose whatever programming you are doing, now in the command window you cannot save, but later on we will do in the script file. So what you need to do is you develop one folder like computer programming, then chapter 1, matrices or introduction. Whatever exercise you do in that one, you try to save it. Then the chapter 2, suppose is like user defined function. Chapter 3, plotting. So because till the end you will have more than 100 of programs. And then if you need to search the program from plotting or symbolic or simulants, you will get confused. So when you are doing the coding in your laptop, try to do in your laptop, then make one folder and chapter wise you save all the file. And then it will be useful, easy to identify. Okay, so I think until here, everyone got this answer, multiply X, Y, so A is equal to X dot star Y. So you will get the answer, okay. All right, so you just write down done in the chat box. Then we will see the another one. Okay. Nobody have written done. You are seeing the screen or not? Sneha have said done. Najwa, Aini, Fayad. Now more and more people are coming. Shamil, Taneshwari, Noor, Susanna, Arshni. Okay, some more. 30, at least 20 people should say done. Then I will move to the another one. Nitya, Sharmila, Nabila, Prithashni, Sreka. Right. So I think it's more than 60% say done. This means you understood. Okay, so now we will move to the. Is there anybody got any problem in doing it? Because these are the limitations in the when we teach online. We cannot know until you tell us that okay, you got the problem. So you need to be free and frank. Not necessary that if you got issue or if you're not able to solve it, you got some kind of, because one thing is good in MATLAB, whenever you do some error, the red line will come into the command window. It will say, okay, you got error in this particular line into this one. So then you identify. Okay. All right. So now we will move to the another, we can say, special kind of command in MATLAB to multiply the two unequal matrices. So suppose we got x 1 is to 5, y is 1 is to 3, then how we can multiply? So what meshgrid does is it create the matrix of equal size. So what we have done is suppose we have written x 1 is to 5. Then we created new variable, new x and new y. So you have written, suppose you can see that new underscore x, comma, new underscore y equals to meshgrid x, comma, y. What we do is we create equal size matrix. So when the matrix is of equal size, we can multiply, divide, whatever things we want to do, we can do it. So we have created the new variable, new x, bracket new y. So when we say new x, so earlier x was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will generate one new matrix which will have 5 column, 3 rows, and it will generate new y which will have suppose 5 column, 3 rows, but the numbers are on the this one row side. Okay, so basically what you need to understand is if you got two matrices with different size, you can use the command meshgrid to generate the matrix of equal size. So we can get the, suppose earlier new x was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has created one matrix which is having 5 column, 3 rows. It has created new y which is also having the 5 column, 3 rows. Now because these two matrices are of equal size, so then you can multiply. You can multiply new x dot star sign new y. Then you can get the matrix. Okay. All right. So we will see some more application later on, but for the time being, you just try to understand that you got two unequal matrix x, y. We have used the meshgrid to create the new x. From this x, we created new x, new y. So new x will be one matrix, new y will be the one matrix. Both the matrices are of equal size. So then now we can multiply. So then you can multiply, okay? So you can try this one in command window that you write down x, y, then you write down new x comma new y, and then the next step. Okay. Later on, we will do some examples for the application of the meshgrid, that where and how you can apply the meshgrid for different size matrices. Okay, but for the time being, you just try to multiply it.